Young and Restless early spoilers July 14th to 18th. Victoria's breakdown and Phyllis's shocking betrayal. On Wednesday, July 9th, we've got Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, convincing Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, to find out if Phyllis is on Team Kane, if she's declared her loyalty to him. And Nick asked Sharon to try and shake any secrets out of Phyllis that she knows about Kane and what he's planning. And Nick and Sharon have a little bit of romance too. We've been promised they would get closer in France. Sharon's actually hoping for something a little more romantic than plotting about Phyllis, but Sharon is going to do what Nick asked. So Phyllis tells Kane she is loyal and that she's eager to watch everybody melt down, but is also kind of poking him about his jealousy over Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, and Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. Phyllis says that his fixation on Lily is a distraction and he needs to focus on the big plan. Kane insists that Lily will not distract him and says, of course, he didn't expect to win Lily back so fast. Young and the Restless spoilers. Kane defends Colin. Anyway, Kane insists that Lily fell out with him because of Colin, and Kane tells Phyllis he got close to his dad while he was getting Devon Hamilton's, Brighton James, money back. And Kane insists that Colin really changed while facing his death and helped him create the Dumas empire and make it a success and legit and all that. Kane also insists that Phyllis has not yet proved her loyalty to him. And then she tells Kane that the Newmans know he can contact the outside world and is buying up real estate in Genoa City and the old Chancellor divisions. Kane is absolutely stunned. She knows. He says it's impossible that the Newmans were able to reach out to anybody on the outside. Y&R spoilers. Phyllis plays it smart. Now, Phyllis does hold back a nugget. She doesn't tell him that Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, made it up the mountain. Kane orders her to find out how the Newmans found out what he was up to, while also still trying to deny he's doing it and denying that he's got secret Wi-Fi. Sharon corners Phyllis with questions about Kane and where her loyalties lie. And Phyllis admits that she's still deciding because everybody in Genoa City treats her like crap. That's Phyllis's take on it. And Kane doesn't. She doesn't have a messy history with him. So there is a clean slate for her that she doesn't have with anybody else. But Phyllis also tells Sharon that she is not out here blabbing all the Newman secrets to Kane. And she did indeed hold back on the Adam thing. I think at this point she's kind of fence-sitting and still deciding what she's going to do. Nick and Kane have a chat about his plans and Kane reassures Nick that the Newmans will be just fine and he holds out his hand for a handshake. Now, Nick doesn't trust Kane, but he goes ahead and shakes his hand anyway. And of course, he's lying to Nick and Nick is deceiving Kane. They don't trust each other. Young and the Restless. Jack and Billy's conflict over Kane and Chancellor. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, argue about Kane and about Chancellor. Jack realizes that Billy still wants Chancellor and that he does plan to try and ally with Kane to get his hands on it. Jack thinks that means that Billy's already losing interest in Abbott.com, but Billy says no. He tells Jack that Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, is going to run Abbott.com, but Jack's mad because he invested in Billy. No slight to Sally, but he invested in his brother. And yet his brother is just all focused on getting revenge on Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, again. Young and the Restless spoilers. Jack and Billy argument heats up. Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, and Sally try and talk the guys down as they heat up. But Jack says Billy is chasing thrills again and is going to make himself miserable by focusing his life on payback on Victor, and Billy reminds Jack he hates Victor too. But Jack says Billy is going to wind up losing both Abbott.com and Chancellor before all is said and done. Young and the Restless spoilers. Proposals, kisses, and hard decisions. On Thursday, July 10th, Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, proposes. He asks Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell, to marry him. Looks like Danny rented out society for the big event. Obviously, Christine is going to say, yeah, prepare for a lot of Danny and Christine flashbacks to their long romance. And that's based on an interview I read recently with Michael Damian, who I think ranks his and Christine's romance higher than probably most Y&R viewers do. But hey, that's alright. Lily gets brave and passionately kisses Damian, saying that she wants something new and won't be held back. I think seeing Kane again has made Lily realize that Damian is a total catch. She wasn't really giving him full credit, but now that she can see him side by side with Kane Lily's, Crystal Khalil, like, yeah, Damian's a good guy. Victoria faces a hard decision, and this may be something about Cole's cremation and memorial with the family gone when she and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, need them the most. Young and the Restless. Grief, temptation, and plots. On Friday, July 11th, we're going to wrap up this week with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, being there for Claire. He is her rock. She's grieving her father, Cole's death, and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, is just nowhere to be found. He's not answering messages. He's not there for her. And things may start to shift for Claire. Plus, she's really ashamed that she walked out just before her dad Cole drew his last breath because she was freaking out. This is big emotional stuff. Kyle is over in France playing games with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, instead of at her side. So, she's going to open up to Holden and he's on those orders by Kane to get really close with her. And the question is, will he leverage Claire's grief and get really close to her? Meanwhile, Kyle and Audra are tempted. Will they give in or will they resist? Both of their relationships are at risk. And unless it's some sort of weird dream sequence, Kane gets into Lily's bedroom on the railcar this week for an intimate talk that she's not too happy about. And this could be what prompts her to get a lot closer to Damien. Young and the Restless spoilers. Adam and Chelsea Lawson Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, are busy plotting against Kane and Holden to protect the Newman family. The week of July 14th through the 18th, Kane Phyllis, and Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan, versus everyone. And Billy is going to be in that cabal soon as he makes his pitch to Kane. Phyllis is going to likely try and keep up appearances with the Abbotts and the Newmans and the Winters so that she can help Kane. But let's be real, she has a terrible poker face and she can't ever keep her mouth shut. So I think everybody are going to know where her loyalties lie. Young and the Restless. Murder mystery and shifting alliances. Hopefully everybody is back to Genoa City before mid-month. We are still promised a murder mystery. Josh Morrow said that himself. I'm back to again thinking it's going to be Chance Chancellor, Connor Floyd, that dies because he's in France for no reason. And Connor Floyd left Young and the Restless to go work over at Days of Our Lives. And he left the CBS soap a few weeks back. So his time is up unless they are just going to send Chance out and never mention him again, which they've done. They did it to Paul Williams, Doug Davidson. Genoa City, where power and passion are always at war. Two women find themselves on a collision course that could alter the Newman and Abbott empires forever. Victoria Newman, the poised and seemingly unshakable business titan, begins to crack under the pressure of her father's manipulative games. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers, forever dancing between brilliance and betrayal, makes a move so ruthless it even shocks herself. The week begins with Victoria standing in the Newman Enterprises boardroom, staring out at the city skyline. It's a picture of success, the high-powered CEO in her designer suit, a cup of coffee cooling beside her. But behind her sharp eyes lies chaos. Ever since Victor's latest round of mind games, testing her loyalty, pitting her against her brother Nick, and pulling Claire into the family fold, Victoria has been teetering on the edge. Her once unshakable confidence has been replaced with sleepless nights and second-guessing every decision. When Nikki finds her daughter still at the office late into the night, shuffling through reports that don't need reviewing, she knows something is wrong. "Victoria, you can't keep doing this to yourself," she says softly. But Victoria's response is sharp. "Mother, this is what being a Newman means. We fight, we lead, and we survive. I don't have time to fall apart." Yet, moments later, as Nikki leaves the room, Victoria's hands tremble. She grips the edge of her desk, gasping for breath. The walls feel like they're closing in. Her father's expectations, her mother's warnings, and her own guilt over losing control. The tears come before she can stop them. For the first time in years, Victoria Newman breaks down completely, alone and unseen. Meanwhile, across town, Phyllis Summers is crafting her latest comeback. One that could devastate the Abbotts and the Newmans in one bold strike. After months of trying to redeem herself and prove she's changed, Phyllis can't seem to escape her own nature. The thrill of risk, the taste of revenge, it's all too intoxicating. She's been quietly working with Tucker McCall, exchanging information under the guise of a business partnership. But what Tucker doesn't know is that Phyllis has her own agenda. She's discovered something buried deep in the Newman Enterprises financial archives. Something Victor himself tried to hide decades ago. A secret acquisition, made under a false name, that ties Newman money to a corporate cover-up. At first, Phyllis only wanted leverage. But when she learns that Victoria has been using Claire to curry favor with Victor, the same Claire who nearly destroyed the family, it sparks something ugly in her. Victoria Newman thinks she's untouchable, Phyllis mutters to herself as she sifts through data. But no one in this town is untouchable. Not anymore. Her plan? Leak the information to the press, Anonymously, of course. And let the chaos consume Newman Enterprises. But as the night unfolds, Phyllis's conscience tugs at her. Jack Abbott had finally started to forgive her. Summer had begun to trust her again. If this secret explodes, it could pull everyone she loves into the crossfire. Yet temptation wins. Phyllis hits send, sealing the betrayal with a single click. Back at Newman Towers, Victoria's breakdown reaches a boiling point the next morning. She arrives late to a board meeting, visibly rattled. When Victor questions her focus, she snaps. "You want loyalty, Dad? You destroy us to prove it. You break us down until we're nothing but pawns." The room falls silent as Victor's face hardens, his pride wounded, his authority challenged. Nate watches from the sidelines, torn. He still cares for Victoria, but her unraveling state worries him. Later, when he tries to comfort her, she recoils. "Don't pity me, Nate," she says, her voice breaking. "I've spent my entire life proving I can be as ruthless as my father. But maybe I'm not built like him. Maybe none of us are." By midweek, the fallout from Phyllis's betrayal begins. A breaking news alert flashes across every screen in Genoa City. Newman Enterprises tied to decades-old corporate scandal. The story details fraudulent accounts, shell companies, and hidden money trails, all pointing directly to Victor and his empire. Victoria's phone explodes with calls. The board demands answers. Victor storms into her office, slamming the newspaper onto her desk. "How could you let this happen? You're supposed to protect this family's legacy." Victoria stares at him, stunned. "Protect it? You mean hide your mistakes?" Their argument rages, years of resentment spilling out. "I built this company," Victor roars. "You're just living off my name." That's when something inside Victoria snaps. "Then maybe it's time I destroy that name," she fires back. "You've turned all of us into soldiers for a war that never ends. You wanted control, but you've lost your family in the process." As Victor storms out, the camera lingers on Victoria's face. Tears in her eyes, but a new fire burning within. Her breakdown has turned into resolve. She's done living in her father's shadow. Meanwhile, Phyllis can't escape the storm she created. Jack confronts her after tracing the leak back to her IP address. His voice trembles with fury. "How could you, Red? After everything we've been through?" Phyllis tries to explain. "Jack, I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just wanted to expose Victor. He ruins lives, and everyone just lets him." Jack shakes his head. "And now you've ruined yours again. You never learn." The confrontation shatters Phyllis. For the first time, her confidence fades, replaced by crushing guilt. She walks through crimson lights later that night, watching families laugh, lovers talk, a world that always seems just out of her reach. The final scene of the week is quiet but powerful. Victoria sits alone in her office, staring at the Newman logo. She picks up her phone and makes a call. "It's me," she says. "I need your help. It's time to take my father down for good." The camera pans out to reveal who's on the other end of the call. Phyllis. Both women, once on opposite sides of power, now find themselves bound by betrayal, pain, and a mutual need for redemption. In Genoa City, alliances shift like the wind, and this one could blow the entire Newman dynasty apart. As the lights fade and the week ends, the audience is left wondering. Has Victoria truly lost herself, or is this her rebirth? And will Phyllis's shocking betrayal finally destroy Victor's empire, or come back to destroy her instead?